interesting stories that happened recently was in Los Angeles with a Mr. Joe Moshe, M-O-S-H-E, which people can Google and find themselves. On Thursday, he was surrounded by a SWAT team after he had called in last week to Dr. Truott's show on Republic Broadcasting and called in asking if there was a state's attorney or someone he could give evidence to, because he was apparently a biological scientist with a dual citizenship in Israel. And he had evidence that the Baxter had a Ukraine lab actually not making a vaccine but making a bioweapon that was going to cause a plague when the vaccine was released. Now, of course, True didn't believe him at first, but what happened is immediately after, the next day, a SWAT team, literally an army, surrounded his Volkswagen Beetle in West Los Angeles. They hit his car 4 times with pepper cannons, and then they sent in a robot after he just sat in the car, and apparently they were surprised that he didn't kind of cough and choke and come out. They sent in a robot to break the back window, and they tasered him and hauled him out through the windows. Apparently, because of his dual citizenship, he got extradited to Israel, and we haven't heard from him since. But
must isolate Hamas unless and until they renounce terrorism, recognize Israel's right to exist, and abide by past agreements. There is no room at the negotiating table for terrorist organizations. That is why I opposed holding elections in 2006 with Hamas on the ballot. The Israelis and the Palestinian Authority warned us at the time against holding these elections. But this administration pressed ahead, and the result is a Gaza controlled by Hamas, with rockets raining down on Israel. Egypt must cut off the smuggling of weapons into Gaza. Any agreement with the Palestinian people must preserve Israel's identity as a Jewish state with secure, recognized, defensible borders. And Jerusalem will remain the capital of Israel, and it must remain undivided.
President Obama is upfront about his support of abortion rights.
I am pro-choice. I believe in Roe versus Wade.
But he deals with the issue, as his press secretary has said about a different matter,
out of an abundance of caution.
In 1984, President Reagan issued a ban on government funding for international family planning groups that promote abortion. One of Bill Clinton's first acts as president was to lift the ban. President George W. Bush's first executive order was to reinstate it on January 22, 2001, the anniversary of Roe v. Wade. President Obama is lifting the ban once again, but Mr. Obama waited until after the anniversary of Roe v. Wade, when abortion opponents were marching on Washington. He tries to treat value differences with respect.
If you believe that life begins at conception, then, and you are consistent in that belief, then I can't argue with you on that, because that is a core issue of faith for you.
He says he wants to find common ground.
Surely we can agree on reducing the number of unwanted pregnancies in this country.
Will President Obama also reverse President Bush's ban on embryonic stem cell research?
I usually prefer a legislative process because those are the people's representatives.
Why such caution? Because President Obama saw what happened when his 2 predecessors acted boldly on social issues. The country became bitterly divided. Obama wants to turn the page.
The stale political arguments that have consumed us for so long no longer apply.
Yes, I certainly don't have a lot to respond except the fact that I am past master of my lodge and a Freemason, and I'm very proud of the fact, and I think it's interesting to listen to a debate that says that points toward Freemasonry as an occult when 36 of the 50 signers of the Declaration of Independence, all of the generals in Washington's army, and everyone who participated in the Revolutionary War were basically Freemasons. And if you look at how the foundation of the country was put together, it's on Masonic principles. I think it's certainly an interesting debate. It's probably not appropriate in this public forum, but I would certainly encourage people that have a different viewpoint to study the Freemasonry